Update. My boyfriend keeps threatening me but saying it's a joke and I'm overreacting. My boyfriend, 44M, keeps threatening to strangle or hit me, 24 female. But says it's a joke and I don't understand him. See previous post on profile for further context if you already haven't. After posting the situation and getting all the feedback, so overwhelmingly supportive by the way, thank you, I've decided I'm going to try to leave him. I've reached out to the domestic violence hotline and they've given me some really helpful resources. They told me that by what I've told them I'm in serious danger of being hurt. They agree that he's trying to desensitize me to the idea of being hit or strangled by him. That kind of woke me up. I've let my roommates and my friends know the full extent of the situation. I'm scared about what's next to come. He has some of my information and if he chose to use it he could mess up a lot of things for me, SS numbers and such. I've been given a couple resources for legal aid should it get to that point. I owe him an invoice for doing my taxes. When my return is in and he's been paid I'm going to attempt to go no contact. I haven't seen or spoken to him in a couple days. I'm trying to keep contact at a minimum. The last time we saw each other it wasn't good. I misspoke when we were talking about the price of something and he screamed at me the entire drive home. Normally when he gets angry like that he doesn't want me to talk to him, so I have a bit before the silence becomes suspicious. Thank you all so much for your support. If anything happens I'll continue to update. Oh yes, definitely stay away from him. And don't be afraid to call the hotlines or cops if he threatens you ever again. You are young. Don't waste your time on an abuser. Good luck. The whole internet is rooting for you. Run. He is gearing up for abuse. Put a freeze on your credit score and seek legal advice. I believe you can protect your SS since there is real threat that he's going to exact revenge upon you. This is a life lesson. Never again give a man this power over yourself. Hire somebody to do your taxes or do them yourself. Never let anyone get your SS number. 44 and 24? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, but a 20-year age difference? Y'all two have nothing in common with that gap. Get out ASAP. It's crazy how these posts always have a pretty big age gap and it's always older men. One might think there's a pattern. You are doing the right thing by getting support and leaving. Please document everything, and take care. Best of luck, and keep us posted, we are worried for your safety. F28, caught my boyfriend, 29, on a lie that broke my trust and now he let me know something even worse. So I had been dating my boyfriend for over 5 years. During this time we had our ups and downs because we were long distance for over a year because of me moving to another country. During this time he really distant and acted like a total dick to me, etc. When we reunited, things got somewhat better, but I still held some resentment over the way he behaved and was always slightly suspicious over some chicks that people would mention to me, saying how they say them together alone and stuff. I tried to put all this behind though. But last Thursday, he told me he was meeting with an old friend, said friend being a girl he once hooked up with. I asked him if he had invited other people, because I actually couldn't join them because I had COVID. He told me that yes, his buddy would go. For some reason, I didn't believe him. Before he left I started questioning him more about who else was going and he reacted by calling jealous and accused me of not letting him had female friendships. I told him I don't mind him meeting up and staying friends with someone he used to fuck, but I draw the line at going out to drink alone, because I feel it's a bit weird and disrespectful and you can literally choose any other girl to be close friends with. He threw a tantrum and eventually I tried to let go of the issue, but the more I thought about it the more paranoid I got. We ended up having a big fight when he came back home. I asked him to see his phone to check whether he actually had asked any friend to join them. He refused. We fought all night and they agreed to go to couples therapy. Next day we went. And have another session tomorrow. But today while he was in the bathroom I checked his conversations and confirmed what I was significant other sure of. He never asked any other friend to join him and the chick for drinks. It was always a one-on-one thing. I immediately confronted him about it, and he denied it. He said he deleted the conversation with his friend because the friend had cancelled and he thought he would get in more trouble for that. I had a Zoom meeting so I stopped the fight a while. Once it was over I again asked him to please tell me the truth. Then he finally admitted what I knew all along. He never asked any friend to join them for drinks that day. We fought for like an hour and then I told him that if there was anything else he had lied to me about over the years, this was his final chance to make it right and come forward. So this is when he tells me that a couple of years ago, the girl I was always suspicious of, actually tried to kiss him. This just completely fucked me up. A part of me was always suspicious, but I kept telling myself I was insecure and jealous and needed to get over it. I feel gaslighted in a way. I gave him so many chances to come forward and be honest in more chill, safe situations. I thought I loved him and wanted to him, but now I feel so angry, sad, and like I can't trust him. Is there any way to fix my trust in him? How can I stop feeling angry and resentful over this? In the cheating subs they call this, trickle truth. If you keep squeezing, he'll keep changing the circumstances of what happened. Your relationship and feelings mean less to him than a night out with a girl he's already hooked up with. Leave this loser. I'm not sure why you even believed a friend would join. He only said that because you insinuated you wanted other people there. Also, he is lying. The girl never tried to kiss him, they kissed. They probably did other stuff too, and he's just downplaying it because he knows you will let it slide after a while. He broke your trust. Simple. You know what needs to be done now. Fuck all that. I would never, and I mean never, do this in a relationship with someone that I loved. He lied because he knew he was up to nothing good. Is this the life you want to live? I think you already know the answer. How can I stop feeling angry and resentful over this? Remove the source of anger and resentment from your life. I.e., break up. He is so comfortable to lie to you. Do you really believe that he would come clean when you tell him so? The woman tried to kiss him is just another of his many lies. Why is it so important to him to be alone with this woman when it disturbs you so much? If she would really be just a friend, why can't other friends drink with them and have fun? You know the reason. He lied so much and showed you that he gives a fuck about your feelings. You know that you will never thrust him. I'd personally leave him if I were you. I was raped and I'm terrified to tell my girlfriend. Scroll to the bottom for too long, did not read. I, 22M, have been together with my girlfriend, 22F, for about 2.5 years now. I love her and I want to hopefully spend the rest of my life with her, which is what makes this next part so difficult. This past weekend I was on a beach vacation with 2 male friends celebrating a birthday. While there we went out to a club at night, and when we got there I was already very intoxicated, but not beyond my limits by any means. Once we were inside, my friends bought me several drinks, and before I knew it I was pretty much incapacitated. Obviously I never should have let myself get that drunk, but that's what happened. My memory is very hazy from then on, but I know that I lost my friends and was approached by a woman. I don't know what played out exactly, but I know she offered to take me home. But I interpreted it as her helping me because I was obviously way too drunk to be there, another mistake on my part. When we got back to the Airbnb I just remember being taken into the bedroom and her on top of me. I was unable to move. I remember her nails digging into my arm, I think. I don't know much else other than a few hours later around 5 a.m. I woke up, with no clothes, and was recovered a tiny bit to the point where I could start to process what happened. I told my friends that I was with what happened, and at the time I felt like I had cheated, and I said I would take this secret to the grave and made them promise never to speak of it. In the day that followed I obviously couldn't stop thinking of it and can see now it was rape, not cheating. I'm fucking horrified at the thought of telling my girlfriend what happened. She's an amazingly kind person and I think she'll understand and forgive me, but I'm afraid she'll always question to herself if I was telling the truth or if I cheated and bent the story to make it sound not as bad. Worse, what if it ruins intimacy for us? I know I'll be okay because I've been raped before, 3 years ago by a man. And it hasn't affected sex for me really since, but what if it's too much for her to handle? I also can't help but think it was my fault for putting myself in a position to be taken advantage of so easily. Or maybe somewhere subconsciously I wanted to cheat on her and that's why I let a stranger take me home without any resistance. The alternative is to just never speak of it again. I have plenty of past trauma and can stomach another repressed memory, but I am afraid somehow she'll find out. I will not risk losing the love of my life over some shit like this though, so if I think there's a risk of this ruining the relationship I won't tell her. Really feels like a lose-lose situation. There is also the issue that I need to go get STD testing now, and I live in a red state where that is not the most accessible or affordable. Any help would mean a lot to me. It's okay to call me an asshole for my poor decision making, I just need to know how to move forward. Too long did not read. I let myself get way too drunk at a club on a vacation, ignored the red flags that I was not putting myself in a safe position, and allowed myself to be taken advantage of by a rapist. I'm afraid telling my girlfriend will either ruin the relationship or she will always wonder if I cheated and lied about it. Do I tell her or just move on with my life and pretend it never happened? I know I'll be okay because I've been raped before. I have plenty of past trauma and can stomach another repressed memory. My dude. That road does not end in happy places. I understand the social imperative to suck it up, bury the pain, but at some point you need to consider giving yourself some space to grieve and process this shit. I was not putting myself in a safe position, and allowed myself to be taken advantage of by a rapist. That's what we call victim blaming. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm afraid telling my girlfriend will either ruin the relationship or she will always wonder if I cheated and lied about it. You tell her. Be unapologetic. Be vulnerable. If she cannot accept it, then she's not the love of your life, and you're better off without. You're allowed to drink alcohol without being raped. You're allowed to get blacked out drunk without being raped. You're allowed to accept help without being raped. You're allowed to be helpless without being raped. Not a single thing you did can be used to blame you for what happened. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your girlfriend about what happened out of fear of being labeled as a cheater and not a victim, talk to a therapist. They will help you stop blaming yourself, and they can also help you telling your girlfriend by providing a safe, natural ground for you to explain to your girlfriend what happened and how it has affected you. Do not suffer alone. I'm wondering if you were drugged? Since you were unable to move, but apparently conscious? Start with getting some new friends. I would have been flipping a shit if my super drunk friend had disappeared. I just stopped by to say you are incredibly brave for talking about this, as well as acknowledging that you did not cheat, and that you were raped. I know how difficult it can be to confront these sorts of situations, but at some point, you might want to consider reporting your rapist. Women can be predators and repeat offenders too. It may feel empowering for you. If not, your emotional and mental health are top priority, and I wish you the best as you're navigating this horrible experience. This might already be posted here, and not sure what area you're from, but if you need to talk, or to find resources in your area, this is the RAIN hotline 1-800-656-4673. They might even be able to help you with free mail and STI testing. Okay, if we would change the genders and present the scenario, nobody would be blaming you. The worst thing that should happen when you drink too much is a terrible hangover, not sexual assault. I'm sorry this happened. I hope as you tell your girlfriend she'll be empathetic and consider how she'd want you to respond if it was her telling you. I let myself get way too drunk at a club on a vacation, ignored the red flags that I was not putting myself in a safe position, and allowed myself to be taken advantage of by a rapist. This breaks my heart. You are allowed to go out and get drunk. Getting too drunk is never you allowing someone to assault you. Nothing you do could ever give someone some kind of permission to violate you. I'm so sorry this happened to you, and please delete and/or report any comments that attempt to victim blame you for something that was in no way your fault. I would suggest to tell her and be as detailed as possible. If you don't come clean and somehow she ends up knowing it, we can say most anything while we are drunk. She can misunderstand it like you cheated. If you have a healthy relationship, which I'm sure you have, she should get it. My 17M female best friend, 17F, asked me if I think she's pretty. She is very ugly. What do I do? My female best friend asked whether she's pretty. I genuinely think she is not, but that obviously doesn't make me less than love her any less. Do I just tell her? I was lucky enough to get a random call the moment she asked me, dodging the question. Do I admit it? Do I lie? Do I just refuse to answer such question? Under no circumstances should you tell her that you think she's ugly. You could say, I think you're pretty, but there must be a reason you're asking, so if you don't feel good about yourself, I'm always up for helping you out with a makeover and new style if you want to try something new to boost your confidence. She obviously is feeling low, or someone else has already told her something like this and it's affected her. Don't make it any worse for her. Help her and support her by building her up, not knocking her down. You tell her she's pretty. Full stop. Tell her she's pretty. Telling her you think she's ugly, while honest, would probably stick with her for years. She's asking because she needs you to tell her she's pretty, not because she wants to be told she's ugly. Also, it's important to remember that while she may be ugly to you, she's probably beautiful to others, so it isn't even necessarily a lie. For me, beauty isn't even about looks, it's almost entirely personality. If she is your best friend, she will be pretty in many ways. However, to you, just not in the physical sense. That didn't stop you from forming a relationship and becoming close friends. You have to ask yourself why she is asking this. As a friend, you want to be that safe person and build up her spirit. We both know if you are brutally honest about what you think, you will crush her spirit. I know you don't want to do that. Just tell her that she is pretty, bro. Such a difficult question. Me knowingly being the ugly friend. I know my friends lie when they compliment me and it feels condescending and I hate it. I personally would rather the truth so I can actually know what to fix, but they will never tell me in order to spare my feelings. I wish I had at least one honest friend so I could really know where I stand. Tell her she's pretty, and if she tries to make a move on you, let her know you're flattered but she's not your type or that you don't want to risk losing her friendship, etc.